Thank you all for coming on tonight. This is a really special night, and I don't know if all of you know why. Number one, because Sonya Dudley, Diamond Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, is our special guest speaker. And I asked her back in, I think it was November, if she would be our special guest speaker, basically our treat, a celebratory treat to hear her speak with us tonight. And I asked her in November because our goal in December was to add 50 new ambassadors, and we didn't quite make it in December, and that's okay. We still had a really good month. And then January pretty much just blew myself and everyone else out of the water with 72 new ambassadors that joined, which is amazing. And so Sonya has so graciously given of her time this evening to come onto our Live Radically Team Connection Zoom call and just share some things to motivate us, inspire us, encourage us in this journey. She is also a John Maxwell coach. If you do not know who John Maxwell is, I highly encourage you and urge you to go look him up or ask one of us afterwards. He is a sensational coach, speaker, leader, and has helped probably millions of people just through life and in leadership positions. So anyways, I'm going to let Sonya take it from here. Thank you so much, Sonya, for coming on tonight. This is fantastic. I'm going to unmute you so you don't have to mute yourself. Okay.
I could have unmuted myself. I'm sorry. Thank you, Melody. Thank you for such a great, sweet introduction. It's my treat to have been asked to share with your amazing team, explosive team, and you have quite a few on tonight. So, wow, this is great. I'm so excited. I'm so proud of your team, for one thing. Wow, just the focus and the goal setting that from what, not just you, but what Wendy has said about your team. And, it's just fun to watch people's personal growth journey. And I think far too many times we compare our journeys to someone else's. I think it's probably the number one mistake people make, and is probably the biggest downfall that will spiral you downward, is when you start comparing yourself, because it's kind of a game you're never going to win. And so I'll just, if it's okay, Melody, I'll just kind of share my story, a little bit about history, and it'll kind of segue me into what I'm going to talk about. I've been in network marketing for almost 30 years. I started when I was 19 years old, and I was in college, and I was looking for a job, and my aunt said, you should try this. I'm doing this. I do home parties. Women love it. You love makeup. You'd be great. And I said, okay. So at 19, I went to the bank, and I borrowed $1,000 in 1989. And my mom had to co-sign my note, my first bank loan at 19. I think my payments were like $60 or $70 a month. And that was equivalent to probably about $2,500 today. So it was a big commitment. And I remember just having this belief that I could do this. Like I could actually do this. I could make money, have fun, and I could be able to do this. Like I really believed, and I would say that's the first step in anything, is if you're going into something, it's okay to go into something with a little bit of healthy fear. That's good, because that can motivate you. But you got to really put your head on straight and say, I don't care what hasn't happened. I don't care how many businesses I have failed, if you want to say that word. I don't believe there's such a thing, but failed. You can't look back at that. You have to stop and say, I believe God brought this to me, and I am moving forward no matter what. I am going to push through every obstacle, because every obstacle is designed for your growth. It is planned out it's the way to grow that area in your life. If you're weak in this area and you have an obstacle and it pertains to that, don't run from it, run to it, because that is designed to help you to overcome that to where it's no longer an obstacle. So I did network marketing all through college, and my senior year, I decided to go to my very first convention, right? And how many of you have been to convention before, or anything like a leaders retreat? Like, it's amazing. And so I go to this, I go to convention for the first time, and I flew for the first time by myself, went to this convention, didn't know anyone. The lady who picked me up from the airport said, I'm going to pick you up. I'm your upline. You're doing amazing. You're winning all these awards. I'm going to put you under my wing and you're going to be fine. And I'm like, okay. Did not know her. Trusted her. And let me tell you that entire 4 days was life-changing. I made the decision, and here's the second clue, decision. You have to, have you ever, I remember a time when my little girl, she was probably two and a half, and she was in the back seat of the car. My mom was driving. We were with my mom. I was in the front seat, and Addison started choking on a piece of hard candy. Don't you hate hard candy? If you have kids, ugh, I hate it. From that point on, I'm like, never again. She got choked. We're driving. She got choked on hard candy. Now, I do not know the Heimlich. I do not know any of that stuff, okay? I should. I don't. But I did not stop and think about, I don't know how to get the candy out of her throat. Let me think about it. Let me study it. I made a decision that I was getting that out of her throat no matter what. No one could stop me. That has to be the kind of decision you make, truly, when you are going all in. It has to be a feeling deep down that you've never had before. And that you don't wait on the feeling, you make the decision and the feeling comes. And so I made that decision that I was coming home, quitting college my senior year, don't do that. But I said, I had 21 hours to go. I said, I'm going home and I'm not going back. This is my lifelong career. Why? How could I have made a decision like that after going to college for summers? I mean, I was very driven because I knew that I wanted to help other people get what they wanted, and I would be okay. And I'll never forget that woman on stage saying, if you help enough other people get what they want, you will get what you want. And I thought, that's exactly what I want to do. If I can get paid to do that, I'm doing it. And that was my decision and my line in the sand, and I've never looked back. So, belief, that decision that no one can take away from you. And now, when you made a decision to have children, or maybe you didn't make the decision, maybe you just had children. God has his own plans, right? Did you say, well, if they behave, and if they're well behaved, and if they're not sick, and if they're easy, then I can do it? Or did you just, you got the cards you were dealt, right? And you adapt, you muster up strength that you never thought you had. I mean, I know many people that say, oh, I could never clean up puke. I'm like, you hadn't had a kid yet, because if it's your own kid, you'll muster up stuff you didn't know you had, right? It's amazing. It's just, this whole journey of life is so fun to watch. It's painful. Life is hard. There's a lot of trials, a lot of pain, but it's interesting to watch. So those are a couple things I wanted to really point out before I kind of got started into a couple other things. So we didn't have computers when I started. I didn't have email. I didn't have a cell phone. I didn't have Facebook, Instagram, nothing. So how did I build a business, earn a car, several cars, through none of that? I finally got a bag phone, a real big, heavy bag phone. But I will tell you this. I had to eat. I had to feed myself. I got married. I was a brand new director in that company, got married. My husband had a not so great job when we first got married. And we had to have two incomes. Like, we had to have two incomes. And mine had to be equal or more. And so I got out the door every day and said, I got to figure out how to, like, go meet some people and connect with people. And I mean, I loved people, and that's what I realized, but I didn't know really how. I was given too many facts. I was just trying to get people. I didn't understand the art of connecting with people, of loving on people. And that's one thing that's the main topic tonight is that conversations and convincing versus connecting. It's really the true, I don't want to say secret. There's no secrets to success, but it is a link that if you can master this art of connecting, your confidence will be where it needs to be, and you will be able to always have a business. Because the great news, here's the great news. Babies are being born every day. You are not going to run out of people ever, ever. Yes, you may run out of Facebook friends. You may run out of Instagram friends. You may run out of a network, but you can get out the door and go meet more. And you can do that when you love connecting and you're not worried about convincing. So let's dive into that. So I quit that company in 2005. I got really, really sick, really sick. I was in bed for 2 years. Thought my life was over. Truly, it was a miserable, miserable time in my life. I hurt so bad all over. It was just, I lived at a doctor's office with no answers. I went back in the workforce for 5 years. I'd never been in the workforce. I went into the workforce for the first time and was so longing to be home again. And Plexus came along in 2012, and I had sworn off network marketing because I had tried a couple more. And my best friend, Helen McFadden, of 25 years, she said, listen, you know how bad I'm against network marketing, and you are. I'm like, yeah. She goes, well, we're going to do one more. And I'm like, no. But I trusted her. I loved that there was hardly any investment. And that's not always a good thing. It's not always a good thing, because I think it's too easy to quit when you don't have much skin in the game. But there wasn't much investment, and she thought the products could help my health. And she said, and I said, well, if the products work, we'll go all the way with this. And we knew the first day or two, we knew the products were different. I never felt better. The first week, my whole health changed the first week, like dramatically. And I could name 12 things that changed in a week that I was like, you got to be kidding. And so I started telling people that I cared about. I started opening my mouth. I was excited. I didn't think about I'm selling something. I'm like, oh my goodness, I got to tell everybody because this could help so many people. And then that was in September of 12. And then I hit, I was able to quit my job a few weeks later. And then I hit Diamond in July of 13. And so, but it took me 20 years to hit Diamond. It took me 20 years to hit Diamond. I could never have done what I did the way I did it had I not learned a lot of hard lessons. I'm not saying it's going to take you 20 years, and it shouldn't, but get where I'm coming from. I used to compare myself when I was 20 years old, 19, 20, 25. I would look at these women in the business I was in, and they were in these, they were women in suits, and they had it all together. They had a family, and I was this young chick who quit college, who was trying to be what they were. And for the first 5 years, I just spun my wheels. Because even though I was a director and I was making a little money, I never felt like I was good enough. I never felt like I measured up to them. I just couldn't see myself at the top of the company because I was so young, and they were, here, 30, 40, 50, and I was 20, and I'm like, and so I just beat myself up for 5 years, maybe longer. And then I started understanding more that And I had mentors, John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar. I went to workshops, other people too, who, really helped me to understand that you just can't win when you compare. Your life situations are different. You have gifts that Susie and John will never possess. And they have gifts that you'll never possess. And you play on your strengths and you delegate your weakness. You find someone who can do what you're not good at. You find someone else who is, or you do it up to par and you just let it go. Like, for example, my strength's people. My weakness is organization. And if I showed you my desk and my house, you would go, you're not being judgmental. It is a pure fact of life that anyone that walks in my house, I'm sure they would go, okay, well, it's okay. It's not my strength. And I tried for several years getting good at that. No. John Maxwell says, work on your strengths, delegate your weaknesses, or just do them to the point that you can live with them. Now, I do that, and then about every 3 months, I explode, and I take a Saturday, and I'm like the little Tasmanian devil getting it done, and I can do it. But it's not what brings me joy. It's not my passion. I'm not good at it. So that's what I'm telling you here on comparing yourself. I could look at Melody and go, wow, how do you do all that in your life? And I could just sit here and I could think about it for months and go, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do that? Why aren't I good at that? Because you weren't made that way. God made you unique, and it's not in your cards. So release it, and be okay with it. I've always had a housekeeper. When I couldn't afford to pay my light bill, I had a housekeeper because I wanted to stay married, you see. So I'm not kidding. All right. I want to go into convincing and connecting. I want you to make a column. If you're taking notes, I want you to write convincing and then, leave some space under it. And then over here beside it, connecting. So we're going to be listing a word that, under each one, okay? I do want to add one more thing before I go off of comparing. But when you're comparing yourself to someone, well, first of all, don't do it anymore. Just say, I don't need to compare myself. I'm unique in my own way. But instead of, when you find something that you feel like you're inadequate about, just turn it into, like, for me, I go, that just means I'm extra amazing at something else. And that just means that I'm going to be finding that person who can really take care of this in my life, and they're going to be the one. Like, I'm going to love this person. It's going to be amazing. So don't focus on it. But if it bugs you, then you're going to have to say, it's kind of like what you spend time doing that's not your strength. You could probably make 5 times the money in that hour doing what you're good at and pay somebody $40 to clean your house, or $60 or $80, however much it is in your area to clean your house. And you could take that hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you could probably triple your income. Because, there is something to be said. You're paying somebody. You're like, okay, they're here. I got a babysitter for 2 hours for something. I'm going to make my time worthwhile, right? Y'all get where I'm going. Okay, so convincing and connecting. On the convincing side, I'm going to talk about 5 or 6 things here. When you're in a convincing mindset, you're in a selfish mindset. Okay, so under convincing, write the word selfish. Under connecting, write the word selfless. Okay, selfless. And what I mean by that is when you're out and about and you're wanting to talk to people, if you're in a convincing mindset, it's all about you. your needs, your desires, your goals, your financial situation, right? You, me. But when you're in a connecting mode, you have to put yourself in a selfless mode of, I would like to get a new customer. Yeah, that'd be great. But you know what? I need to qualify people. I need to see if what I have is good for them anyway. It's not for everyone, and I need to qualify these people. So I'm going to get to know them. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to connect with them. I'm going to find out about them, right? What that does for you when you kind of talk that way before you do it, it just kind of takes the pressure off of you to where you're not really in a selling mode. You're in a like, I just want to connect with somebody. I want to meet a new friend, right? All right, so think about those two things. Then we're going to go down, and under convincing, I want you to write a number, like write the word, a number, and then under connecting, a name. So you're in a numbers mode over here versus a name and really getting to know people over here. One thing that, I used to say, I've got to go out and get 5 names today. Well, when I first started doing that, it was really more about 5 names, but 5 numbers. Like I was just trying to I can't come home till I get 5 new cards today with people's name and address and phone number so I can call them. But that was pressure, and it wasn't really effective. I call that mass marketing. And you might even make a note by under convincing where I said a number. You might write mass marketing, because it's okay if you want to do that every now and again. I don't love that because I don't love rejection, and I get more rejection that way, and it hurts my feelings, and I don't like it. So I don't like to put myself in that situation. So I prefer quality over quantity, if you will. So I prefer getting names, getting to know people. So when I'm talking to people, I always, it's, if you know me, and Melody, you probably know this about me, I would hope, I'm going to ask you your name. If you don't have a name tag on, I'm going to say, wait, what's your name? How do you spell it? Where are you from? Melody, Melody. Okay, great. I try to remember names. For Pete's sake, always get their name. Always say their name, but find a way to remember their name. If you have to say to yourself when you're walking away, Melody looks like so-and-so, I'm going to connect that so I can remember her name, whatever it takes. And when I spell a name like that, I usually remember it and have a conversation. So as you talk to someone, if you see their name tag, say, oh, Sarah, your name's Sarah, S-A-R-A. I've got a great friend named Sarah. I love the spelling. I love it without the H or whatever you want to say. But just connect with their name. And then repeat their name throughout your conversation. Oh, so how long have you been working here, Sarah? Oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. So Sarah, how many children do you have? You say it over and over and over because the sweetest name people hear is their name. But it also helps you to remember their name, okay? All right, so that's the couple things. The next one under convincing is if you're in a convincing mindset, you're in the mindset of what can I get? What can I get today? What can I get? Can I get a customer from this person? What can I get from them? Versus you're in a connecting mindset of what can I give? What can I give? Today, I was in the house all day, but I had to run a quick errand at a health food store. We actually have a small little health food store in my small little town, and I had to go down there for like 5 minutes. Walked in, saw someone that knew me. She was talking to someone that I didn't know. Anyway, long story short, she introduced me. The girl and I started talking that I didn't know. She tells me she's going through a divorce. Well, I just stopped everything, and I put my hands on her arms. I just met her, and I just said, let me tell you something. I've never been through a divorce, and I'm very thankful. However, this is what I can tell you. I've been through a lot of life, and you are stronger than you even believe you are right now. I want you to know that. You're stronger than you even believe you are. And she was so emotional. All I did was touch to connect. Number one, you want to touch people if it's appropriate and it was appropriate. Touch breaks the barrier 80%. People will buy from you 80% more likely if you touch. Now, we didn't even talk plexus. I wasn't trying to sell her. I was trying to encourage her, build her up as a person. But I touched, and then I looked her in the eye, I said her name, and I give her a word. Now, you can do the same thing when you're out there connecting with people, because I could have stayed and visited longer, and then, said, you know what, I could have took it this far, and I didn't, because the other girl had already connected, and she said, Sonya, she's going to join my plexus team. I'm like, that is awesome. Great, Melissa, that's awesome. But I never said another word about plexus. I just went right back to the girl. But had that not happened, I could have said, you know what, like when I left, I could have said, you know what, Sue, are you on Facebook? You are? You know what, here. And I could have took my phone and handed her my phone and said, type your name here. I'm going to friend you on Facebook. We'll stay connected. I want to be able to encourage you. You think she would have said no to that? Now, I could have taken it a step further. I wouldn't have in that situation, but I could have said, can I give you my card? Or, you know what, can we connect on Facebook? I have a product or I might have even actually, for her going through a divorce, I might have said, I have a company that I'm in that could literally save a lot of your financial worries through this divorce. Can I at least get your, let's connect on Facebook. I'm not pushy. I love to say this to people. I'm not pushy. I can't stand pushy people. I'm not going to push you and bug you. But I want to be able to have a connection. If you need me, if you have a question, if I need to get in touch with you, we'll have a connection. I love to be honest with people, guys. Don't be afraid to be honest. Don't be afraid to say, I was scared to talk to you. You're so put together. I was intimidated to talk with you because you're so put together. But you know what? I heard you say you have migraines. There's no way I could have left here without giving you my card. There's no way, because I wouldn't have been able to sleep tonight. You see, this product that I'm on has helped so many people with migraines. It may or may not help you, but I couldn't have left here without giving you my card. Are you on Facebook? You are? Here, just go ahead, type your name right there. I'm going to friend you, and that way you'll stay connected. You can watch some testimonies I post. If you're interested, you can let me know. I'm not going to bug you. I hate pushy people. Boom. You have completely just made a great friend. You have connected. You have loved on them. You have shown interest. You have shown sincerity. And they're not going to not want to be a part of your organization. They're going to want to be around you because of how you make them feel. People will leave an organization, but they won't leave the way you make them feel. So if you make them feel good, you got people. All right, I know I love how your time popped up. So let me keep going. I've got a couple more to say. If you're in a convincing mode, you are in a factual mode, not a story mode. You're convincing is you're telling facts. If you're in a connecting mode, you are telling stories that relate to what they are talking about. You are listening to their stories and telling more stories about their stuff. And the last one is talking. Convincing, if you're in a convincing mode, you're in a talking mode. All you do is talk, and you're only listening so you can talk more. But if you're in a connecting mode, you are all about listening, and when they tell you something, they say, I have migraines. You're not going to talk. You're going to ask another question. How long have you had them? Wow. Do you have to take medicine for it? Do you have to watch what you eat? Oh my gosh. Wow. You know what? I know so many people that suffer with migraines. So many people. And I have a product that has helped so many of them. And I don't know if it can help you or not, but it has helped so many people I know with migraines. Are you on Facebook? You're not? Are you on Instagram? You are? Great. You know what? What's your Instagram? I'm going to just connect with you on there so you can just watch my post. That way, if you have any questions, if you decide, you know what, I'm sick of these migraines, I want to give it a try, we do have a money-back guarantee, you can at least connect with me. I'm not going to bug you. I'm not a pushy person. Hate pushy people. You can connect with me if you're interested, okay? How does that sound? Okay, great. That's what you can do everywhere you go. But it's about asking and listening. And again, you will win them over if you listen and ask questions. Okay, I'm going to shut up to see Melody, if we have any questions, if you want to ask me anything, whatever we need to do. Do I need to go through the chats? What do we need to do?
I would love to just open it up to some questions. If anybody has something they've just been dying to ask you, Sonya, please speak up. We have about 7 minutes, guys.
Great.
Go ahead and unmute yourself if you're able to, or wave at me if you need me to unmute you.
Am I on?
Yes, speak, whoever it is.
I am. Speak. Here I am. Okay. I totally related to like the way you're just rambling, like, oh, you're on Facebook. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, how do you get there? Like your mindset is so inspiring. So are there tools that we can use that you used to get us to that point? Because I think dialogue with people can be, I don't want it to be forced. So, you're like, oh, like the way you just said it, I'm like, I want that. Like, I want to channel my Sonya. Like
Corey, thank you, first of all. But, it has just been practice. It has just been literally like that first 10 years, 15 years of my career. We didn't have Facebook and social media. I've probably only been on Facebook 10 years if it's even existed that long. So it was a matter of I had to have an income. I had to master my skills. So I literally just practiced. I would just jot down things, read them, practice in the mirror. I would practice with friends. We would do a whole lot of role playing. I would hold weekly meetings with my team, and we would do role playing of conversations. I would pull them up front. I'd be like, okay, so let's talk to this lady, and we would just role play. And we would role play overcoming objections and things like that. And so it's just been practice. It's been a decision of having a really honest, humble heart with people and truly just wanting to love on people, like not really caring, am I going to get results today? I don't care. I'm going to find out if they have a need that I possibly can fill. And then I'm going to say, you know what? I don't know if what I have can help you or not, but it possibly could. It's helped so many people I know. Can I just connect with you? I don't want to push you. I hate pushy people, but I have a heart to help people. And if I can at least connect with you, you can watch my post. You can email me if you're interested. If you have something come up and you really think, I want to look into this, you'll have my connection. You won't have to wonder who I was. Can we do that? And people see and feel you. It's about body language. It's about touching. It's about being real. It's just practice. It's practice. Yeah. I've read a lot of books. I wish I could tell you some of the books. Gosh, I've loaned out probably every book that I've ever really learned a lot from. I've had to order them again and loan them again. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. That was an incredible book. Feel the Fear. Who wrote that? Was that Feel the Fear? That was either Pat Pearson or Les Brown. Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I can't remember. It's one of them too. That was a very impactful book for me. There's been several. Yeah, I put a whole bunch of books. I have a SonyaDudley.com website that just has there's a whole list of books that have impacted me. That you could see the books and go, if you haven't read them, they're really, really good books. I probably put 10 or 12 on there. But yeah, hope that helped a little.
Can I ask
a question?
Melody?
Yeah, go. Yep.
Oh,
So do you then follow up with these people that you said, I'm not going to pressure you, I'm not pushy, just check my stuff out? Do you just wait for them to come to you then?
Great question, Roxanne. So what I do is I screenshot when we Facebook right there, I screenshot it so I don't forget who they are. I go home and I add them to a Facebook list. I make a Facebook list. I'm sure most of you probably know how to do that. If not, Melody can do a training on it. But I make a Facebook list and I put all my prospects in it so that I can start engaging in their post. So you will only see their newsfeed altogether. Like you'll see, say you've met 10 people this week. You've got those 10 people added to your last 10 people you've met, and all you see is their newsfeed. So you can stay engaged, like their post, comment, and just start engaging. Well, then they're going to start seeing all your posts, and their friends are going to see your post as they engage in yours. And I just call it building a funnel. And when the time is right, you might make a post that week about something that they were struggling with. They may see that. It's just things like that you can do. I don't really go out there to build that for a fast, quick buck, if that makes sense.
We have less than a minute, so if somebody has a quick question, pop on.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Sonya, so much for coming on tonight. This was amazing. So
You're
amazing. We were just so excited to have you come on and speak to us. And it's been very motivating, very inspiring, given us lots and lots of things to think about and work on in growing ourselves. So thank you so much. We know your time is valuable, and you've been a huge blessing to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you at convention.
Yes. It's going to be the best, right?
Yep.
10 years. It's going to be the best.
Wow. Yep.
All right.
Well, thank you all so much. Have a great evening. We will see you later. Good night.
Hey, Monica. I see Monica. Hey, Monica. How are you? Good to see friendly.